Akron General Medical Center. She will come up and introduce herself. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Jeff. I grabbed him at one of our community conversations and invited myself, so thank you for honoring the invitation. And it's great to see everybody. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. Have a face to a name. You know, we have, of course, Cleveland Clinic has locations in probably every one of the communities that you serve, and so it's not just Akron. I grew up in Canton, so I'm a native of Northeast Ohio, and I've lived in Greene for about 25 years, so I moved up to Summit County at that time. And I have been with Cleveland Clinic since 2011. I'm a family medicine doctor, and I came into Cleveland Clinic purely in a role to see patients, and then somehow as journey and opportunities cross, here I am leading the South submarket, and very honored to do so. Everybody always says, what's your plans for the submarket? What's your plans for Akron General? And really, my plan is to continue to serve our communities and to support their health. You know, we're kind of young in the South. We call it the South submarket. We're a little bit young in the Cleveland Clinic system. And so we're still finding ways to work together and increase the services that we're providing to all of our communities. And so my goal is to continue to do that. And we want to keep people here in Summit County. We don't want people to have to go up to Cleveland as little as possible for just super specialized services. So we continue to want to grow the services that we're providing to our communities here in Summit County. So really, like I said, just wanted you to have a face to a name, and certainly I would welcome any communications if you need to reach out, and love to have further conversations more specifically to anything that's happening in your locations. So thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
Doctor, thank you for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. And also with us tonight is Sue Hobson. Many of us know Sue for her work in the community, and just want to thank you for the ongoing commitment to the community. I don't know if other members on council know, but the hospital's been very responsive to 2 specific zip codes in the area to help with everything from well babies programs to senior health care. Also the annual tree plantings that the hospital has done has been very impactful over at Lane Field. And it's exciting because one of the plantings was an actual orchard, so that the students at the school can come out during recess once the trees mature, pick an apple, pick a pear, and it's all wrapped around good health curriculum. So that's very exciting. So thanks for your continued support in the community. We
More than happy
appreciate it.
to. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. This time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Councilman Brandon Ford for a public hearing regarding Springfield Township construction of a single county drainage improvement.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to call this hearing to order. The time is 4:34, and the purpose, as stated, is a public hearing for the procedure of a Springfield Lake outlet construction of a single county drainage improvement. The petition is for the county to clean, remove obstructions from regrade, restore, reconstruct, and stabilize the drainage course and install channel improvements to mitigate future erosions, scour, and flooding. At this time, I would like to call Dave Kuntz, our Summit County Engineer's Office, to address council.
Councilman Ford, I just have a question. Since we do have court reporter in here tonight, do they have to get sworn in, and do you have to let everybody know that we do have a court reporter in here?
The court reporter should be sworn in, yes. Or
Yeah,
swearing in
he
the court
does.
reporter, yes.
I'll be sworn in.
Sir, could you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of council. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. It has been requested by Springfield Township that I speak on their behalf. Of course, they do support this petition. They did sign it and presented it. And So this is a process that we're going through to enable us to obtain easements and put the easement on the property permanently and give the county engineer responsibility for perpetual maintenance of these improvements after they go in. So I have provided to everybody previously copies of the preliminary report that we prepared. And in addition, we have a full report that was prepared by the consultant, DLZ. I just brought a copy for reference, but that, with all the attachments of the modeling studies and so forth, is about an inch thick. That is available on our website, and that is the guidelines for the final design, which will provide the improvements for the Springfield Lake Outlet. So I have a presentation tonight on this project. This slide shows the overall project area. In this case, it's the length of Springfield Lake Outlet from the lake going northerly then to the Akron Corporation limit. Noted on the map is the existing lake outlet structure. That particular point is not being improved at this time. That will be a subject of a later project, but we are improving the outlet channel itself with this improvement. As noted, we're going to clean it. There's a lot of sandbars, fallen trees. There's segments of the ditch that are sloped backwards, whereas the bottom of the ditch does not flow the way that it should from south to north. So there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. Also, we'll install some access points so we can get equipment in there in the future, keep it maintained. We have an estimated project cost of $1.4 million. That includes design and construction. And this is all going to be covered by the Surface Water Management District with, thanks to council for providing that funding. It was provided a couple years ago for these priority projects. This is one of the first projects, and it's, I believe, the first one to have a public hearing. So you'll be seeing more of me this fall as well as the other projects do advance. Like I said, we're following the revised code in order to primarily to establish the easements. Okay, and I've noted the steps on here. We're just a little bit of the ways down on June 2nd with the first hearing. Trustees did sign the petition and submitted it in January. Because the funding was authorized, final design has been authorized. However, there is a step in the petition process where we'll be bringing that to council as well for reading it in June 16th and adopting it June 30th to formally, as part of the petition process, authorize design. And then we're looking at later this fall, November or December, getting a final design report in. And then with council approval, we would go out for advertising during the winter for construction. And again, there's no cost, no assessment cost for either construction or maintenance on this project. The maintenance costs in the future will be covered by the Surface Water Management District revenue that is on the property tax bills every 6 months. You can see the design process. They've been doing preliminary design now for a couple years. They got that report to us and are working on the final plans at this time. I've also included here some photos at the Springfield Township Hall. When we had the public viewing, we did present a drone video, but actually the ground level photos that the consultant took are more, a little bit more revealing of the conditions. You can see we've got a lot of Phragmites and other plants clogging the stream. We've got silt, We've got debris, sandbars. This has just become a mess over the years. It was initially improved in the 30s, so it's been, 90 years. I'm surprised it's holding any water, carrying any water, but, natural forces will clean out some of that, but we need to do a lot more work to get it in better shape. So like I've said, on our website, we have a web page for each project, and you could look at the page on this one if you want more information, and or you could ask me if you have any specific questions tonight.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't have to get sworn in if I speak, right? Okay. So my question to you is, when you talked about the access points to for additional, to get in there?
Yes.
Is there going to be additional cost to that, like to one of the residents or anything over here in this?
No cost to the residents, no.
I mean, well, are they going to want us to pay for?
If we have access drive, any access drive along the project, along the stream, that is not an extra cost. That is standard part of the project, along with cleaning out the stream. But if we need to get to the stream and the access drive from another street, if we need to cross somebody's property with, say, a new driveway from the street to the stream, then yes, we will have an appraiser determine the value of that easement, and then an easement will be obtained for that.
Okay. Yeah, because I just happened to see on here where the owner does not have to, won't sign or something. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, and that's still the case.
Okay.
These easements will be obtained through an easement plat.
Okay.
And once council approves that final plat, which would be in December, January, then that puts the easements in place and enables us to build the project, and then also those easements are permanent for the permanent access and permanent maintenance. So they'll be in place at that time.
That's all I have.
Councilman Woodhull.
David, once everything's completed on the preliminary stuff, how long does the project take to complete?
Yeah, the construction in this project, I don't have an estimate yet from our engineer. I assume that's what you're asking, is actual construction time. Yeah, we're not going to try to push the contractors too heavy on these, because we're probably going to put 4 of them out in a period of 6 months. But I'm thinking, it depends on the project, a year to year and a half for each project. The Y Road project, that came through this council, and the construction went from I think they started in January. They were supposed to be completed by August 25th, and they just finished up last week. But the one before that took extra time, and it was smaller, so it's hard to judge. I'll try to get a handle on that when we come in with the final report.
Are there any other questions of council? At this time,
Oh, wait,
thank you.
Bethany McKinney.
Councilwoman McKinney.
Thank you. So I see there's going to be a small road to create access to the stream for these activities. Will that remain there so that maintenance can be continued?
Exactly. It'll be an access driveway that will remain in place along the stream in order to provide access at the points where we're working on it and where we need to get in, yes.
Any other questions from council? Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Gates.
welcome. Thank you all.
At this time, I would like to call proponents wishing to speak in favor of the petition. Are there any proponents wishing to speak in favor of the petition? Proponents wishing to speak in favor of the petition? At this time, I would like to call opponents. Are there any opponents wishing to speak not in favor of the petition? Are there any proponents or opponents wishing to not speak in favor of the petition? Finally, call if there are any opponents wishing to speak against the petition. Is there anyone in the audience at this time who wants to speak in favor, or those who do not want to speak in favor of the improvements that are being submitted in the petition? So the public hearing will remain open for 10 days until June 12th to allow for any affirmations or objections to the file, to what has been filed with the council clerk. Again, this public hearing will remain open for 10 days, June 12th, to allow for any affirmations or objections to be filed with the council clerk. And I will call this public hearing to adjournment at 4:46.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. I'll go back to our council meeting. Next, we are going to have public comments. I decided we're going to go on and get the public comments first here instead of the end of the meeting. First, I'm going to have Reverend Pamela Pinckney to address council. Pamela, remember. 3 minutes, Pamela.
I want to first of all thank you all very much for the proclamation that you did for Women's Day at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church here in Akron, Ohio. Reverend and Mrs. Curtis A. Mentor and Tamiko Mentor are grateful, and the congregation as well, for honoring the Women's Day, and please keep them in prayer. They're in bereavement because Pastor Mentor just lost his twin brother last Monday, and he has to do a eulogy of another bishop this coming Friday. So please keep that church and ministry in prayer. Thank you for your resolutions this evening. I am one of the entities that I have in place is Global Engagement Dissolving Violence Against Women and Children. And I want to thank you for many of these resolutions that you have, including the addiction resolution 161, the delinquent care and custody grant that you're pursuing, that is being pursued, 171, as well as the resolution pertaining to gun violence, and elder abuse. One of the books I wrote is called Gun Violence, The Silence. And in that book, I was addressing the fact that gun violence does not occur merely because of the after effects of it, but it is as a result of the manufacture, sale, trade, and production of guns. And we could find a way to spend our money other than manufacturing, trading, selling, and producing guns, so we can change the mindset of our people in our country and elsewhere and have better relations. For my non-agenda topic, I once again come to you because the Akron Metropolitan Transportation System has been trying to get a contract for going into 2 years for the operators and the support staff. They are being denied vacation pay, sick pay, holiday pay, as well as other concerns. Some people are working 40 hours and not getting 40-hour full-time pay. The holidays such as Juneteenth and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is not being observed or honored, and they have other concerns. And I would ask that whoever handles and appoints board members and those people in the Akron Metropolitan Transportation System to please reach out to them, because they're afraid of losing their jobs if they speak up. The Spectrum News and Akron Beacon Journal wanted to interview them so they can help them, but they're afraid of losing their jobs. I thank you for the sacrifices that you make and the work that you do, and I pray that I can move forward in helping you. I no longer approach you as victim, but victor and overcomer. And I'm thankful that you all have taken the time to care about me and see about my life and those of my concern. Thank you very much and have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Pam. Next, we have Ricky Vesey. Is Ricky, you in there? Yeah, there she is. You didn't know I was going to call you up that fast.
No, I didn't know I was going to be the next. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Ricky Vesey. I am a resident of Akron, Ohio. I live right here on Market Street. And I am here as part of the coalition in Akron to encourage you to remain faithful to your commitment to us to not reinvest in Israel bonds. There are $2 million that Summit County has invested in Israel bonds that will expire on August 1st. In our previous meetings with you, you have agreed that you would not reinvest, and we're just here to make sure that that is still your intention, to not invest this money. Not only because of the horrible atrocities that are happening in Gaza and in Palestine on the hands of Israel, but also because that money could much better be used here in our own community, in our own county. Also, Israel bonds have been downgraded and they are no longer a good investment, so you would not be getting a good return on your investment anymore. I'm someone who works with the local refugee population. I teach English to refugees that come here from many different countries around the world. Their lives have been destroyed by war, by genocides. They are here to make a better life. They are upstanding members of the community, the nicest people I have met in my life. And I do want to tell you, in addition to that, just one story real quick. There is a convenience store on Market Street that I go to quite frequently because I live right near it. And over the past year, I've gotten to know one of the cashiers there. His name is Mohammed, and he is super friendly to me every time. We talk every time I go in there. Recently, he actually came to the International Institute where I teach English and was inquiring about English classes, but I saw him once I got into my car. So I pulled over my car, rolled down my window. I always have my Palestine flags with me. On a nice day like this, you'll see me driving around with my Palestine flag. But he immediately, when I rolled down the window, he grabbed the flag and kissed it. And he told me something I did not know about him. He said, "My family is from Palestine. They were displaced in 1948. I haven't been able to ever go." So just to know that there are community members that maybe don't have the platform to speak. He said, if I was waving this flag around, I'd probably get detained. But, as someone who has the privilege to be able to come up here and speak in front of you, I would like to use that privilege and ask you to keep your commitment to no longer invest in Israel bonds. Thank you.
Thanks, Ricky. Next, we have Dr. Jadala. Hi, sir.
Ahmad Jadala, 6184 Westington Drive, Hudson. Thank you, Ricky, for speaking up for those who can't speak. And I just want a couple things. I know I've gotten comments and calls about why do we keep coming up that you guys already said you're not going to invest in the Israel bonds. And the reason why, and I hope this doesn't come off as mean, is we've gotten promises before from state elected officials about investments, and we just found out that one of our state senators is trying to sponsor another bill, $10 million, going to invest in Israel after they agreed that Israel's not doing things right and they're committing war crimes. And to do that, on both sides of the aisle, we're getting this, and we're hearing promises, but yet we do understand that there's pressure. And when we ask about why are you doing this, we never get a good answer about it's good for Ohio, it's good for Summit County. We get the answer, we're being pressured into doing this. And we don't think that's a good enough answer. And that's not where I want my tax dollars to go, and I don't think that's where you want your tax dollars to go. And I hope I have enough time to play this, because this is not just us speaking. I think you guys were well on the forefront, and you guys, I appreciate it. Again, this is not like a, here to bother you guys. This is actually here to thank you guys because you truly listened to us and you saw things and you looked at what we had, the information we had, and I'm sure you did research and you realized, wait, hold on a second, this is not the right thing to do. But even now you have Israeli officials that are calling it what it is, and I will find that real quick here. It's always hard to find things when you want it, but this is the former prime minister of Israel, if it loads up here, but his name's Ehud Olmert.
Don't forget, if that 3 minutes comes up, you got to
Yeah,
cut
that's
you
fine.
off.
Well, I'm going to add 5 seconds. No, I'm joking. But anyways, he's even admitting, I'm sure you could read it, and he was on CNN admitting that his country was involved in war crimes. So now we know who is involved in war crimes. Now we just don't want our county to be complicit. I was going to ask Congress and the president to find out if there's any accomplices, but then I realized, whoa, hold on a second, they are the accomplices. So they're supplying the weaponry, they're just killing all these people. And you see all the countries, including European nations, that are starting to cut ties with Israel because of the fact that they see what's going on. And finally, I want to thank Councilman Wilhite for coming to our event, for our NECA event, and also for Andrew, and I think Colleen came from the executive's office, as well as other elected officials that came. And I hope it was educational. I hope we had many people that came to that event from all different faiths, including the Jewish community, and more of them are working with us and trying to help out because this is about, again, it's about humanity. And to have one of the council people there that came up to me and said, I'm sorry, they apologized to us and said, I did not know all of this. And that's what it's all about. It's about educating people. And I hope we can go forward and really get the support of the county and the city in terms of educational event, because what's going on right now is not good for Palestinians. It's not good, as you see, it's not good for the Jewish community at all either. This is equating Judaism and what Israel is doing is not the right thing. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Dunham. Next, we have Sharon. Is Sharon, hi, Sharon. I think you've spoke before. We need your address and there's 3 minutes.
Yep. Okay. So my name is Sharon. I'm a resident of Akron. I live in 1769 East Waterford Court. And I'm also a member of the Akron Palestine Solidarity Collective. And I'm here to remind Summit County to no longer reinvest on the Israel bonds that mature on August 1st. We've been coming to County Council for over a year now to demand that you no longer invest in Israel bonds. Israel has been using these bonds to finance a genocide on the Palestinian people. These bonds are funding bombs, starvation, suffering, torture, and mass murder on these innocent Palestinians. And we've been told by county that there are no intentions of reinvesting in Israel bonds, and we're happy that Summit County did not invest the $1 million bond that matured on February 1st. But we are here again today because there's another bond that's maturing in August 1st, $2 million, and we want you to keep that promise again. Our tax dollars should go to our community here in Akron, to the people who need it here, and it should not be invested in foreign governments who are violating international law and committing murder. Thank you, and Free Palestine.
Thank you. Next, we have Yasan. Is that it? Did I say it wrong? I said it wrong, right? I wasn't going to attempt the last name because I was like, oh.
That's okay. Hello, my name is Yassine Sheikh. I live on 2359 Echo Drive. I'm here to express my appreciation for you guys listening and keeping your word when it came to Feb 1st, when we found out that you and the fiscal office, committed to your promise and did not reinvest the bonds that matured. We were relieved, we were happy, we were thankful. And again, we keep coming back because, again, this is a forum for the people to consistently remind ourselves, you, about what's taking place. And at times like this, we are 604 days into the Gaza genocide. We are desperate. We are absolutely desperate. I'm sure the people of Gaza are even more desperate. I'm sure they're even more tired than we are. And the civilian death toll has surpassed 54,000. And that is likely to hit closer to 200,000 as projected by the Lancet Medical Journal by the end of this genocide, which we don't know when it's going to end. We don't know if that 200,000 is an accurate number. I still remember when the first hospital was bombed, the El Shifa hospital was bombed, and there was so much controversy. Everybody was like, there's no way that Israel would do such a thing as bomb a hospital, right? And since then, they have bombed every single hospital in Gaza. Every single hospital in Gaza has been bombed, and we've become numb to it because it's happening so often. And they continue to bomb them because they know that they can do it without any sort of consequences. As Akron, a beautiful and diverse city full of opportunities, full of humanity, full of love, again, I was really touched when I heard the story that was shared by Ricky. This decision, the decision to not reinvest these bonds, is absolutely the right one. And rather taking that money and investing it back into the county, that is absolutely the right decision. And I applaud you for listening and being open-minded and hearing the people. We know that more than 60% of Americans, all Americans, not a specific population or demographic, favor an arms embargo on Israel. More than half of the American population views Israel unfavorably. So we know that it reflects the interests and the needs of your people to not reinvest those bonds. And you know that the genocide being conducted in Gaza, the dispossession and ethnic cleansing taking place in the West Bank, we know that this is wrong. We want to stay as far away from being involved in it, being guilty of it as possible. When I hear the Israeli government officials saying that all the babies in Gaza are also enemies, when I see the eyewitness testimonies or even security cam footage of IDF people abusing and raping Palestinian hostages, I say, well, there's no way that my tax dollars, my friends' tax dollars, our county's tax dollars are going to support that. And I'm sure you agree. So when August 1st comes around and those bonds mature, I trust all of you to continue doing what you're doing and doing what's right. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to continue on to our council caucus sheet. We have 9 motions tonight. M0272025. We have Nicole Quester here to present council. She's with the Criminal Justice Advisory Board appointment. Is she here? Maybe. Oh, there she is. If you just want to introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm Nicole Quester with the Common Pleas Court.
You want to? Anybody have any questions? Yep. Christine, did you have a question?
A little over 4 years. I am the court executive officer.
If nobody has any questions, thank you. Next is M0292024, the ADM board appointment. Stephen Strayer, is he here? Hi, Stephen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Steve Strayer, lifelong resident of Summit County and applicant for the ADM board.
Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Jeff, thank you.
Next is M0312025, the Child Fatality Review Board appointment. Dr. Ashley Welko. Hi.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Welko. I work for Akron Children's Hospital. Grew up here in Summit County, lived in Stowe. Graduated from the Elms, actually, and happy to be back after COVID to serve the community here.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
There are 19 first readings tonight. There are 3 first reading passage requests. 2025-159. We have Clerk of Courts, Tavia Golansky, will address council. Welcome, Tavia. Thank you.
Hello, I am your Summit County Clerk of Courts, Tavia Golansky. I very respectfully am requesting first reading passage of this motion, which was amended. And the reason for that is because this rent is due July 1st of this year, 2025. Just so you know, for the next 6 months, there will be no increase in the rent. We successfully negotiated that 6 months of no increase. And then this is a 3-year renewal contract, which does start July 1st, 2025, running until June 30th, 2028. We've had this office for 20 years. It's very successful. One of the nice things about being that close to our neighboring county, Cuyahoga County, is that people choose to come to our county to negotiate their titles to the tune of almost $5,000 per month. Residents of Cuyahoga County come to that Northfield office and ask us to take their $11.50 for their title, and for a total in a month like that, $57,500 for those fees, and more than $600,000 in sales taxes collected that goes to the state. So as you can see, it means a lot to be there. Our landlord requested a 59% increase. I think in this day and age, people think that everyone has a lot of money. But as the careful keeper of the funds for you taxpayers, I don't think increases like that are to the benefit of the taxpayer. And so we were able to negotiate something more reasonable to the tune of 25%. And the total amount for that 3-year time, again, no increase for 6 months, but for the remainder of the time will be $56,840.16. But I already spoke about the title fees, and I think you can understand, just as I'm requesting, that that's quite reasonable in the scheme of what we do there. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I want to say thank you,
Thank you.
because I know you had a tough negotiation with that Howard. I know Howard very well.
Nice try,
So-
Howard.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, thanks, Tavia.
Thank you.
Next, we have 2025160. Nicole Quester will address council. You could just stay up there too, because you're going to have a...
Thank you. Good afternoon, Nicole Quester with the Common Pleas Court. The Common Pleas Court is requesting this first reading passage to increase the not-to-exceed amount with BPI Information Technologies. Earlier this year, council approved an aggregate purchase contract of $180,638 for the calendar year. We are asking council to now increase that amount by $69,362 for a total not-to-exceed amount of $250,000 for 2025. The increased amount will allow the court to continue critical IT projects. BPI has provided IT support for the courts for a number of years. Their support supplements in-house staff time and provides licenses to the court's various IT needs. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Joe?
So what's the increase for?
The increase is to add additional block time to enable BPI to help us complete some of the projects we've already contracted for this year, in addition to potentially completing some additional projects.
Okay.
What's block time? What's block time? Oh, okay. Thank you. And then next we have 2025161. It's you again, Nicole.
We are seeking approval to enter into an agreement with the Community Drug Board, also known as CHC, to ensure payment of services rendered between November 2023 and January 2025, in an amount not to exceed $88,030. The Common Pleas Court contracted with CHC to provide drug screens to probationers. However, the amount has exceeded the contract, and some of the services were provided outside of the contract period. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. Do they ever do, get quotes, like from other companies that do drug screening?
Yes.
So they're kind of all the same?
They provide different drug testing services, but we do receive quotes from other agencies.
Thank you.
Thank
you. We don't have any further questions? Everybody's full?
Thank you.
Next, we have 2025162, Sarah. Is Sarah here? Oh, there she is. Hi, Sarah.
Good evening, Council. Sarah Butcher-Gross, Executives, Department of Finance and Budget. On the first page here, we've got, it's a large dollar amount, but what this really is the cleanup piece for the Common Pleas Courts Grants project that we've been working on. They've been working closely with Lori's team over at Public Safety, and this will be the appropriation for the final 10 grants that we have under their old fund. Everything else is going under their new Common Pleas Courts Grants Fund that we have set up the correct way in the accounting software. The other thing on this page is the demolition costs for 2525 State Road under physical plants. Then for development, we have a small amount there for the Slovenian delegation visit. On that same page too, under public safety, we have appropriations for the virtual courtroom, be-in-court software, and for the court jail scheduling software through eData Experts. Juvenile court there on page 3 is just 2 of their new grants. Common Pleas Court, we have 3 grant updates there, 1 under that old fund, 2 under the new fund, and those are just to finish straighten out in those 3 grants. And then for probate court, that's just their transfer over to their mental health fund for the surplus. Page 5, and I think this one goes all the way to like page 7. The sheriff's office, they've got 1 donation for their canine care, and then there's 4 separate new grants under the sheriff's office. For the engineer on page 7, we've got some tuition reimbursement appropriations and a small amount for rentals and leases. And then on the last page under the engineer, it's 2 change orders for the bridge load rating and inspections that they've got. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Council, have any questions? Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.
There are no late filings. Routine legislation found on pages 8 through 12. There are no second readings. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilwoman Christine Hine, followed by a moment of silence. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Hyam?
Here.
Mr. Donofrio? Mr. Cajun?
Here.
Ms. Dickinson?
Here.
Mr. Ford?
Here.
Mr. Wilhite?
Here.
Ms. Darrow?
Here.
Mr. Lacotte?
Here.
Ms. McKinney?
Here.
Ms. Walters?
May I have a motion to approve the minutes, May 12, 2025? I have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motions for council. M24, 2025. A motion of council confirming the appointments of Gabriel Durant, replacing Dennis Tubbs as alternate to Executive Eileen Shapiro to the Akron Metropolitan Area Transportation Study, AMATS, Policy Committee, and Caitlin Elrad, replacing Dennis Tubbs as alternate to Diane Miller-Dawson to the AMATS Technical Advisory Committee.
I have a motion on M0242025. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
M25, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Holly Miller, replacing Dennis Tubbs to the Akron Summit Community Action Board of Trustees.
I have a motion on M0252025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M26, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointment of Diane Miller-Dawson, designee, to Executive Eileen Shapiro to the Akron Summit Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Trustees.
I have a motion on M0262025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You want to use mine? Don't use mine. Don't break it.
M27, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Nicole Quester, replacing Robert Gaynor to the Criminal Justice Advisory Board. Thank you.
I have a motion on M0272025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. M28, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointment of Hallie Jones Capers to the Planning Commission.
I have a motion on M0282025. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
M29, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Stephen Strayer, replacing Marvin Ferguson to the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board, ADM Board.
I have a motion on M0292025. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
M30, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Councilman John Donofrio, replacing Councilwoman Christine Hyam to the Planning Commission.
I have a motion on M0302025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M31, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Dr. Ashley Welko, replacing Dr. Susan Knopfziger, with Dr. Paul McPherson and Dr. Danielle Mahaltz as alternates to the Child Fatality Review Board.
I have a motion on M0312025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M32, 2025, a motion of council confirming the appointment of Tracy Williams Eaton, replacing Joan Davison as alternate to Jill Oldham to the Child Fatality Review Board.
I have a motion on M0322025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
First readings, 2025-159, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a lease amendment with New Plaza Management Limited Liability Company for the lease of office space located at 10333 Northfield Road, Northfield, Ohio 44067 in Council District 1 for an additional 3-year term from July 1, 25 to June 30, 28 in the amount of $56,840.16 for the additional 3-year term for the Clerk of Courts emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-159.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt 2025-1159 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-160, a resolution authorizing the executive, subject to the approval of the Board of Control, pursuant to Section 177.13 of the Codified Ordinances of the County of Summit, to increase the purchase aggregate total for calendar year 2025 for BPI Information Systems to an amount not to exceed $250,000 for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget and the Court of Common Pleas emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-160.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt 2025-160 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-161, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with the Community Drug Board Incorporated, doing business as Community Health Center Addiction Services Incorporated, as a best practical source for drug screen testing services from November 1, 23 through January 31, 25, and in an amount not to exceed $88,030 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division, Adult Probation Department, emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-161.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-161 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-162, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2025 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Madam Chair, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-162.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-162 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-163, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for the Valley View Road resurfacing project located in Sagamore Hills Township and Council District 1 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $1,409,000 $424.66 for the engineer emergency. 2025-164, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with JD Stripping and Services Incorporated for the 2025 Regional Pavement Marking Program in an amount not to exceed $265,383.57 for the engineer emergency. 2025-165, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Protect a Coat Incorporated for the 2025 Summit County Regional Crack Ceiling Program in an amount not to exceed $118,162.13 for the engineer emergency. 2025-166, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of agreements for the acquisition of a temporary construction easement and the purchase of real property located at 299 East Howe Road for project Q8361 Pump Station Number 82 replacement and force main replacement project Q8361 for an amount not to exceed $2,139 located in the city of Talmadge and Council District 6 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services Emergency. 2025-167, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Summit Construction Company, Limited Liability Company for the Summit Art Space renovations project located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $892,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Physical Plants Division, Emergency. 2025-168, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Wayne Garage Door Sales and Service Incorporated, doing business as Michelli Glass, for the medical examiner's two-story curtain wall replacement project located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $385,332 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Physical Plants Emergency. 2025-169, a resolution authorizing the Executive to advertise for bids for the Summit County Jail Windows Project located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $369,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services, Physical Plants Emergency. 2025-170, a resolution approving and accepting a subdivision titled Sunset Drive Extension located in Copley Township in Council District 5 for the Executive Planning Commission and the Engineer Emergency. 2025-171, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of professional service contracts with various providers of delinquent care and custody grant services as listed in Exhibit A for the period July 1, 25 through June 30, 26, in a total amount not to exceed $644,250 for the Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Division Emergency. 2025-172, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of Change Order Number 1 to a professional service agreement with Masnick, Raskin, and Ryder Company Limited Partnership Agreement in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for a cumulative increase of 133.33% for a total amount not to exceed $175,000 toward the cost of continued legal representation and services on behalf of the county in the matter of the estate of Ryan Peterson versus Oriana House Incorporated and others for the Executive Emergency. 2025-173, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of professional service contracts between certain providers and the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services and the Summit and Medina Workforce Area Council of Governments to provide in-school and out-of-school youth employment and educational services under the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program for the period of July 1, 25 to June 30, 26, with 3 options options to renew for a one-year term in a total amount not to exceed $2,250,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency 2025-174, a resolution determining the necessity of and authorizing the execution and delivery of a second amendment to the bond purchase agreement relating to the $21 million County of Summit, Ohio Healthcare Facilities Refunding and Improvement Revenue Bonds, Series 2015, Village at St. Edward Project, and authorizing and approving related matters for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget Emergency 2025-175, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute a grant agreement with the Akron Art Museum for sponsorship of the Idea Machine exhibition for a 2-year period in the amount of $100,000 per year for a total amount not to exceed $200,000 for the Executive Emergency 2025-176, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with GuidePoint Security Limited Liability Company as a best practical source for Arctic Wolf risk management software for a 3-year term from August 23, 25 to August 22, 28, and in an amount not to exceed $191,016 for the Office of Information Technology Emergency 2025-177, a resolution determining to proceed with the submission to the voters of the County of Summit the question of the renewal and increase of an existing tax levy for the purpose of mental health and recovery programs for children, adults, and families for the county service district and for the acquisition, construction, renovation, financing, maintenance, and operation of the Summit Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services ADM Board Facilities Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine agenda found on pages 8 through 12.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt routine legislation found on pages 8 through 12. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we adjourn tonight, let's see. May I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss Ohio building security? Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Hyam? Aye. Mr. Donofrio? Mr. Cajun? Aye. Ms. Dickinson?
Aye.
Mr. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Wilhite?
Aye.
Ms. Darrow?
Aye.
Mr. Lacotte?
Aye.
Ms. McKinney? Ms. Walters?
At this time, I ask everyone to please leave chambers.